Hey guys, come on downstairs. We're playing Minnesota Twins franchise once again. This is episode 116. We're doing regular season games 26 through 29, closing out the month of April and opening up the month of May here in year 3 of our Twins franchise. It's a 4-game series against the Chicago White Sox. It'll be just a little bit longer of an episode due to the nature of it. And we start off with game number 26 on the season. Chris Sale on the mound, 1-3 with a 3.18 ERA, has a pretty solid 1.18 whip, 42 strikeouts and 10 walks. And Kyle Gibson takes the hill for us. He is 4-1 with a 1.35 ERA, a 0.75 whip, and he is pitching like a Cy Young candidate early in the season. We get this one started off in the second inning with Avisail Garcia, who is 13 of 40 in his last 10 games. With runners on first and second and one out, he grounds it to the left side. He gets past third baseman Luis Valbuena, and a run comes in to score to get the White Sox on the board. And Kyle Gibson gives up an early run. It's 1-0 in the bottom of the second with 2 outs. Runners on second and third, and a line drive into right field, and it gets over the head of Danny Santana, who misplays it. 2 runs come in to score. And it's going to be an error on Danny Santana. So 3 runs come in to score in the inning. We move on to the 5th now. Danny Santana with a chance to atone for his error. Batting .239 on the year. Could drive in 2 runs with a base hit here. With 2 outs, he grounds it up the middle. Alcides Escobar on to first, and it's dug out by Jose Abreu. And in the middle of 5, the Sox still lead at 3-0 despite being out-hit 8-1 by the Twins. Melky Cabrera now in the bottom of the 5th with 1 out. Runners on the corners in a 2-2 count. The delivery from Gibson. And that breaking ball catches the back door. And Gibson gets the strikeout. Now Jose Abreu up with 2 outs in the inning and a 3-2 count. And he hits a little doinker right back to Gibson on to first, and Gibson gets the Twins out of the jam here. The end of the 5th inning is still 3-0 Chicago. We go to the 7th. Trevor May comes in, making his 10th appearance here in the first month of the season. He is 1-3 on the year. Bases are loaded now in the bottom of the 7th inning with 2 outs. And the Todd father, Todd Frazier at the plate, 1-2 count. A ground ball hard to short. It gets past Emilio Bonifacio at shortstop, or that might have been Jorge Polanco at shortstop. And 2 runs come in to score, and it's 5-0 White Sox at the end of the 7th inning. On to the 9th now. Byron Buxton stepping into the batter's box with 2 outs, 1 on. An 0-1 count, the 105th pitch of the night for Chris Sale, and Byron Buxton lines out to Adam Eaton in right field. Chris Sale with a complete game shutout in a 5-0 victory over Minnesota. A very nice game for the White Sox. It is Chicago's 10th win of the season. They improved to 10-16. We fall to 14-12. And Todd Frazier went 2 for 3 with 2 RBIs. Emilio Bonifacio 3 for 4 with a double. Kenys Vargas went 3 for 4 for us. Kyle Gibson goes 6 2/3, gives up 6 hits, 5 runs, 3 of them earned, 2 walks and 8 strikeouts. And the White Sox take a 3-1 series lead on the season. So that is the end of the month of April. Quick look at our statistics then. We finished the month at 14-12 with a 3.61 ERA, a 281 batting average, hit 25 home runs as a team, 90 RBIs, only 3 stolen bases. That is a category we've been struggling in this season. 9 saves, 177 strikeouts. We have given up 251 hits and gotten 247 hits ourselves. Let's look at some of our statistical leaders in the first month of the season, along with league leaders. Byron Buxton, batting .341, is 13th in the American League in batting average. Colin Moran, George Springer at .396 and .395, leading the way in the American League. In hits, Xander Bogaerts leads with 43. We do not have a player in the top 13 or top 12 here Xander Bogaerts with 43. Ian Kinsler of the Tigers with 42. Doubles, Jake Marisnick, Manny Machado, and Ian Kinsler and Alex Gordon all have 9. Miguel Sano has 8 for us, so he's right up there tied for second. Triples, Billy Burns of the Oakland Athletics has 3, and so does Eric Ibar of the Rangers. Joey Gallo with 2, a whole bunch of others with 2. We don't have anybody on the triples board. I think we have at least 1 or 2 players that have 1. Luis Valbuena leads the American League in home runs with 10. He has had a crazy month of April hitting the ball out of the ballpark. Vinny Varquette, Big Sexy Jr., has 8 home runs for the Rangers. RBIs, Luis Valbuena, 7th in the American League with 19. This category led by the Red Sox' Mookie Betts with 23. Ian Kinsler and Chris Carter of the Yankees with 22 apiece. And runs scored, Xander Bogaerts leads the way with 22. Luis Valbuena at 15 is 11th in runs scored in the first month of the season. We move on to stolen bases. Gerard Dyson of the Royals has 8, and we do not have anybody in the top leaders in stolen bases. I think Byron Buxton has maybe 1 or 2. I can't remember which, but he is struggling. Walks taken, Nomar Mazara of the Rangers has 17 walks taken. We have not been patient enough at the plate. We do not have anybody in the top 13. On base percentage, George Springer, a 483 on base percentage. Mike Trout, 467. Jacoby Ellsbury having a good year, and so is Michael Brantley. Slugging percentage, Luis Valbuena, 759 slugging percentage. George Springer, 724. Colin Moran, 681. The Astros bats, they have a couple of league leaders up there. OPS, George Springer, 1.207 OPS. Colin Moran, a 1.104. But the Astros are, I think they're only tied for their division lead in the American League West. We go on to game number 27, second game of this 4-game series. Jose Quintana on the hill. He's 3-2 with a 3.38 ERA. 32 innings pitched on the year. This is his 6th start, and he will be opposed by Alex Meyer. He is off to a little bit of a rough 2018, 4.45 ERA, 0-3 on the year. Does have a solid whip, but must not be getting great run support. And Danny Santana in the top of the 4th with a runner on and nobody out, and Santana lifts this one into center field, and it is going to be caught there. A beautiful catch in center field for the White Sox. Here's Miguel Sano, ground ball to short, on to second, on to 1 for the double play. That ends the inning. In the middle of 4, we still have no score. The White Sox with 4 hits, the Twins with 2. We go to the 6th inning now. Eduardo Nunez, 1 for 2 on the day, a single back in the 4th. He's batting .302 on the year. Runner on first with 1 out. Here's the delivery from Quintana. And Nunez rips this one into the right center gap. It's going to 2-hop the base of the wall. Runner rounding third is going to head to the plate. And the run comes in to score. Eduardo Nunez with the RBI double. Miguel Sano at the plate now. Score 1-0 Minnesota with 2 outs. And Miguel Sano drives this one opposite field. That one is back, and it is going to be off the top of the wall. Another run will score, and Sano somehow, he must have been in his home run trot or something, but he ends up with a very long single. But it does drive in the run, middle of the 6th. It's 2-0 Minnesota. We go to the 7th inning now. Zach Putnam on for the White Sox, making his 10th appearance. 4.76 ERA. Giving up a .437 batting average to right-handed hitters. And he is facing Devin Mesoraco. And Mesoraco does not mess around. He drives this one deep to left center field. And that one is going to get out. A 407-foot home run for Devin Mesoraco, his 3rd of the year. He doesn't hit a lot of them, but man, when he squares up the baseball, it does jump off of his bat pretty good. Eddie Rosario now steps in. Bases loaded with 1 out in the 8th. Score 3-0 Minnesota, and Rosario lines one over the head of the second baseman into right field. 1 run comes in to score, and that'll leave the bases loaded on the RBI single for Eddie Rosario. Bases loaded now, 4-0 Twins. Devin Mesoraco steps in. 1-0 count, And the delivery from Putnam, and Devin Mesoraco drives another one deep to left field, and that one is run down by Melky Cabrera. Runner will tag and score, and it's 5-0 Twins. Devin Mesoraco with another RBI. The Twins end up winning this one 6-1. We cut into the White Sox season series lead. They now lead it at 3-2. We improve to 15-12 and take over sole possession of first place in the American League Central. The Tigers and the Indians and the Royals all at 14-12 are half a game back, and the White Sox at 10-17 are 5 games back. Devin Mesoraco with 2 RBIs on the day for the Twins. All right, some pitching leaders over the first month of the season. In wins, Kyle Gibson tied for the lead with several pitchers with 4 wins. And Kevin Segrist, third in the league in saves. J.R. Graham with 13 saves already for the Yankees. Santiago Casilla with 9 for the Blue Jays. Kevin Segrist tied with 3 other players in the American League with 8. ERA, Kyle Gibson, a 1.80 ERA. He is tied for 4th with Daniel Norris of the Tigers. Clay Buchholz, a 0.84 ERA. Strikeouts led by Chris Sale, who we just saw pitch a couple of games ago. Kyle Gibson has 35. That's good enough for tied for 4th with Ian Kennedy and Eduardo Rodriguez. Innings pitched, Kyle Gibson, 40 innings pitched on the year. Chris Sale leads the way with 43. Yu Darvish and Dallas Keuchel. Those are 3 good names to be associated with for Kyle Gibson. Whip, Marco Estrada, 0.65 of the Blue Jays, is the leader. Kyle Gibson second at 0.83, tied with Carlos Carrasco of the Indians. All right, those are your pitching leaders. The third game of this 4-game series. Matt Latos on the hill for the White Sox, making his 6th start, 1-2 record, 5.16 ERA. Has given up 35 hits in 29 2/3 innings. It is Alex Wood's turn in the rotation for us. 6 starts on the year, 2-1 record, a 3.30 ERA. And we kick this one off in the first inning. Top of the first with runners on first and second. Miguel Sano batting .294, 6 home runs, 16 RBIs on an 0-2 count. And Sano rips this one into center field. The outfield playing deep. That's going to plate 1 run. The second runner is going to hold up at third, and Miguel Sano with a single and an RBI to get the scoring started off in this game. Luis Valbuena steps into the box now with runners on the corners and 1 out, an 0-1 count, and he's going to line one right up the middle as well. A base hit RBI for Luis Valbuena, and it is 2-0 Minnesota.
Batting sixth, Loney.
James Loney batting .377 with a home run and 6 RBIs. With runners on the corners and 2 outs, and Loney lines it over the third baseman's head. Another run comes in to score for the Twins, and they keep the line moving. James Loney's had a heck of a year. Pretty much has earned himself the starting job over at first. And here is Emilio Bonifacio now trying to keep the scoring going, and he's going to loop one into right field for a base hit. And another run will cross the plate. That is Jorge Polanco that comes across to score. After 1 inning, the Twins lead it 5-0. In 1/2 inning, Deoner Navarro now in the bottom of the first with runners on first and second. He lines this one into left field, and the throw from Eddie Rosario is on time to get Jose Abreu. And that out will end the inning at the plate. The Twins lead at 5-0 at the end of 1. We skip ahead to inning number 4. Austin Jackson stepping in. He's 0 for 1 on the day. He's got a runner at first with 2 outs and a 3-2 count. A backdoor breaking ball freezes him. At the end of 4, it's 5-0 Minnesota. 10 hits for the Twins, 5 for the White Sox. 1 error on Minnesota. Our defense has been struggling a little bit as of late. Brett Laurie now, the second baseman for the White Sox, standing in the bottom of the 7th inning. Alex Wood still going strong, and he gets Laurie to strike out looking. And the Twins go on to win this one 5-1 in game number 28. We tie up the season series with the Sox at 3 apiece. And we lead the American League Central at 16-12. The Indians are 15-12, a half a game back. They are 3-7 though in their last 10. We are 6-4. And Miguel Sano had and a double and an RBI. Luis Valbuena, a double and an RBI. And James Loney with an RBI on the day for the Twins. We go to the final game of this 4-game series, game number 29. Carlos Rodon. He is 0-5 with an astronomical 8.87 ERA, giving up 33 hits in 22 innings, a 2.15 whip. And Tyler Duffy goes for the Twins, a 3.168 ERA, or 3.68 ERA, and he's 2-1 on the year. We start this one off in the third inning with Emilio Bonifacio at the plate. Twins trying to put up a lot of runs on Rodon, who has that high ERA, and Bonifacio into right field. That one gets down right on the chalk, and 2 runs come in to score, and Bonifacio's in with a stand-up double. And the Twins jump all over the White Sox early. In the middle of the third, it's 2-0 Minnesota. We go to the fourth inning now. Deoner Navarro at the plate. He has hurt us in the last couple of years. Has not hurt us so much this series. Ground ball to the right side. Vargas on to second. Back to Vargas at first for the double play to end the inning. And at the end of 4, it's still 2-0 Minnesota. Fifth inning now. Eddie Rosario at the plate with nobody out. Runners on second and third. And here is the delivery from Rodon. And Eddie Rosario with a line drive into the gap in right center. That one's going to get to the wall. It'll plate 2 runs. And Eddie Rosario in with a stand-up double. And the White Sox have seen all they want to of Carlos Rodon. And they bring in Fulmer to face Miguel Sano, and he lines this one into the gap. Another run's going to come in to score. Rosario crosses the plate, and Sano is heading to second, and he will be in there with his, I believe it's his 9th double of the season. And Luis Valbuena will step in. With runners on second and third and 1 out, Valbuena with a base hit to the right side. Run comes in to score. The White Sox not in the shift there. A lot of teams will play the shift against Luis Valbuena. It's 7-0 though as we head to the 6th inning. Jorge Polanco with the bases loaded and nobody out, and Fulmer still on the hill. He hits it into right field, and Adam Eaton can't make the catch. He lays out for it. And that is going to clear the bases, and Jorge Polanco is going to be in with a base-clearing triple and 3 RBIs. That makes it 10-0. The White Sox go on to get blown out here by a score of 12-3. We improved to 17-12. The Sox fall to 10-19. Jorge Polanco 2 for 5 with a triple, 3 RBIs. Bonifacio 2 for 4 with a double and 2 RBIs. Miguel Sano also with a double and 2 RBIs, and Rosario had 2 RBIs. So let's look at the American League Central, or the American League standings, all of them. The Yankees at 19-9, a 2-game lead over the Red Sox, the Jays, Orioles, and Rays. Following them up, the Central, we lead at 17-12. We're a half a game ahead of the Indians. Over in the West, the A's and the Astros are tied at 16-13. The Rangers are half a game back at 16-14, and then you've got the Angels and the Mariners have the worst record in the American League. Over in the senior circuit, the Nationals at 22-6 have a 5-game lead on the 17-11 Phillies. In the Central, the Pirates are 18-10, 3.5 games ahead of the Brewers. The Dodgers lead the West at 17-12, 1 game ahead of the Giants, a game and a half ahead of the Colorado Rockies. So that is it for Minnesota Twins franchise episode 116. It was a little bit of a longer episode due to the 4 games and all the stats we threw at you. But next one will be the first MLB The Show 18 Twins episode here on Minnesota Twins franchise, and it'll be against the Cleveland Indians.